As the year comes to a close, it's a great time to stop, reminisce, and take a look back at some of the things that have gone on over the last year. Now, I don't mean look backwards in the boat like this crew's doing. I mean actually sit back and just take a picture of all the things you've seen in 2025, and today we're going to do that as we're going to go through the top 10 moments rated that happened down at the inlets this year. Welcome back to Boats vs. Haulover, where man and machine take on Mother Nature down at beautiful Haulover Inlet. I'm your host, Broncos Guru, and we already know how these captains are going to fare. Let's get ready to get this one going. And our number 10 ranked incident this year is going to feature a Donzi coming out of Haulover Inlet. Things look pretty good in this one, as the start looks okay and it doesn't look crazy rough off in the background, but our crew finds out real quickly that Haulover can turn on you in a dime. As our crew is trying to make it out, my guy's girl winds up going down. They wind up lightly stuffing the bow there. They hit the wave a little awkwardly, and she winds up on the deck. It's not one of the hardest hits we've seen at Haulover, and definitely you can see in the background, it's not one of the roughest days. Things just didn't work out their way, and this is why we yell at people all the time when they're doing silly things like riding in the bow, even on what appears to be a moderately calm day. You just never know how that exit's gonna go out the inlet. They're all a little different. And right here you can see our girl winds up learning that lesson the hard way, and I'm sure our guy learned that lesson when he got home that night as well. And that's going to bring us to our number 9 moment, which is going to be a Sea Ray exiting Haulover earlier this year. And here you can see my man put the family up in the bow, kind of like we talked about just in the last scene, but we've got a child up here and we never recommend that. Adults at least make their own decisions. When they go up there and things go wrong, you're an adult. It's on you. Even if you allow a child as an adult to go up there and things go wrong, it's still on you. So that's one reason we never recommend them going up there. But here you can see this family figured out really quick they didn't want to be up there. Started trying to scramble to go back, and then Cap starts stuffing the boat into the waves, and all of a sudden the family's basically army crawling their way back to the helm to try and get behind the glass as Cap continues to work his way out of Haulover. Fortunately in this one, everybody appears to be okay, but still a wild moment. Number 8 might not seem as wild as some of the other ones we've seen so far, but what makes this one wild is imagine this. You're on a test ride on a $1.3 million boat, this vessel here, and they say this vessel can handle whatever you want to throw at it. But how are you going to feel out there on this $1.3 million boat when you come back from this test drive absolutely drenched? You can tell there that last wave wound up cutting right over the top. Everybody is soaked. Sitting in the back now, I don't know about you, but I know if I was out on a test ride in a $1.3 million boat and I came back absolutely drenched, I'm probably not buying that boat. Let me know in the comments if you agree with that one at all. But this one is a wild one because right here, he really gets everybody. If they didn't get him the first time, they absolutely buried it in that wave. The boat does ride out pretty well. It's a rough day and it does plow its way through everything, just not the perfect way to get it done or the perfect way to try and sell a boat either. Number 7 is going to keep us over at Haulover Inlet, and here you can see a Robalo trying to go out, and all of a sudden things go drastically wrong. You saw our girl go down by the helm, but that's not all. This one's a twofer, as they wind up going up a wave, landing a little awkwardly. The girl at the helm goes down, but watch our lady at the bow as well. She winds up smacking down on the seat and then smacking down right onto the deck, making this one of the wilder scenes of the year and landing it at number 7 on our list. This is one of the tough parts for being a captain. When you get people up there in the bow, sure, at least you can see what's going on and what's happening with them, but you can't really do anything. When you're exiting the inlet, you've still got to focus on trying to safely navigate the vessel out. And here in number 6, we've got an Everglades working its way out with somebody in the bow as well. Now, a couple of things obviously can go wrong when you're in the bow, but nothing like getting that wake-up call, like a big splash to the face or even a full-on wave to the face, kind of like we're about to see here. The Everglades thinks they have it. They look like they're pretty good until they're not, as they wind up taking that wave straight to the dome, as my guy in the bow gets the full force of the inlet just right in his face as they were trying to make it out. Hopefully a lesson was learned in this one, and that's going to bring us to number 5 on our list, which is going to take us over to Boca Inlet, where we've got a contender trying to come in, but again, somebody in the bow on a rough day, heavy following sea, and they wind up taking the wave right over the bow, absolutely just smashing our guy in the front. Now, this one might not look as bad as some of the things we've seen already, but sometimes you've got to look at the broader spectrum, the bigger picture on what really happens, and, well, you'll see in a moment exactly why I rated this one so high on the list, because as they wind up coming in, our guy got smacked pretty good, but this is the scene when he gets up at the end. Basically, the crown jewels appear to have gotten crushed somewhere along the lines. And that's going to bring us to number 4 on the list today, and that's going to be a Nortec exiting, and this is a big boy. This is a massive boat. You don't think much of this when you're coming out of Haulover, even on a rough day, and today doesn't appear to be firing. It's not Haulover at its worst, but they kind of get caught in the swash here at the end as they start hitting the rollers, and unfortunately they've got somebody all the way forward in the bow. And that's just not a good place to be because you're going to take the full brunt of everything going on. Right there, he gets caught off guard, smacked by a wave, winds up losing his glasses, and dropped right onto his rear end onto the hard deck of a $1 million+ boat. You always got to remember when you're leaving the inlet, people always say bigger is better, but it still has to do with the captain and some of the people on the boat as well. And here we go to number 3, where we got a big yellowfin trying to make its way in. Right there you can see things are getting a little squirrely as they're trying to get the boat up on plane and just plow their way straight into the inlet. And right there, one of the probable biggest stuffings of the year, as it winds up taking several people out on this boat as they basically send the entire vessel directly through a massive wave that winds up in front of them. And unfortunately, again for this one, our guy in the bow winds up taking the absolute full brunt, full force of this wave, getting absolutely smacked by it, easily earning that number 3 spot. And here we go, top 2, as we've got a hurricane coming out of the inlet, and right here, this crew gets absolutely rocked. You saw everybody in the bow basically get airborne when they hit this wave, as we'll see here from the sky cam as well. Right there, boom, everybody up, everybody down. Nobody in the boat looks happy anymore. It is an absolutely brutal scene as this hurricane was working its way out. Cap didn't slow down at all. I mean, so much so the seat even came off that our girl was sitting in on the captain's side. But the worst part, Haulover's not done. Haulover throws a second haymaker at him, smacking everybody around again. This boat is in a world of hurt, and there's not much Cap can do. At this point, again, all he can do is try and find a way to navigate through this. He can't really stop right here, especially in this boat, as this vessel's got a much lower freeboard than your average offshore vessel. If Cap stops right here in all this going on, they're just going to continue to take waves over the bow, and things are going to get worse for him. He's got to get him moving and get him out. But man, an absolute brutal scene, earning its second spot hands down. But that's going to take us to number 1. The worst moment at Haulover Inlet this year is coming right here. This is a Sea Ray working its way out of Haulover. One of the girls learned real quickly. She's like, nope, this is a terrible idea. Second girl tried to fix it, and it was way too late, and she winds up paying the price big time as she tries to move back behind the glass and winds up on the deck. And it winds up being another one of those hard lessons learned at Haulover in 2025. Thanks for watching, crew. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Boats vs. Haulover. If you did, please check out our other content. We have Wavy Boats, who does a bunch of great things down at the inlets. My channel, Broncos Guru, do some great comedy boating videos there as well. And of course, we got the Miami Boat Ramps channel that focuses on all the things that happen at the boat ramps down in South Florida. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.